Hey guys, so this past weekend I went to Playlist Live in Orlando, Florida. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit about what Playlist is like and the harsh realities to something that is almost too good to be true. See, last year Playlist Live had 4,000 attendees, which is a huge amount of people relative to the size of the hotel. Well, this year they thought they could up their ante by adding 8,000 attendees. Now, it sounds like a grand idea because the hotel, Caribe Royale, is a really big place. They forgot how much 8,000 people really is. The lines to get into the convention center, which opened at 10 a.m., were extremely long. I mean so long that it took an hour just to get people in from the starting point. The lines were so long to get in that people got there at 6:30 in the morning and still didn't get in until 40 minutes after it opened. Another crazy part was the meet and greets. They were so much fun and just amazing to get to meet your favorite creators, but the lines were horrible. Which brings me to the breakout sessions. Breakout sessions were basically panels with famous YouTubers and some lesser known YouTubers talking about how to become better YouTubers or various topics such as vining, creating thumbnails, and balancing a budget. Altogether, breakout sessions were great and I never had a negative experience with them. In fact, not very many people went into the breakout sessions, which was really surprising. One thing that surprised me about Playlist Live is how much people didn't care about YouTube as they cared about meeting their creators. It almost seemed like a concert versus a convention. People were just dying to get that one selfie or a video with their favorite YouTube creator, which is so cool. I mean, I think it's so cool that we get to do that. But sometimes we forget that this is their job. Their job is creating YouTube videos and content. And I want to be able to do that. I want to create cool content, but I need to learn how to do that, which is why the breakout sessions were really cool. So altogether, I only waited in one really long line, and that was to visit the YouTube boy band. And let me tell you, it is a story. So basically what happened is that people rushed into the main area to try and get into the room where they were waiting, which is Caribbean 3. Inside Caribbean 3, there was about, say, 200 chairs set up, maybe I'm just estimating that. So what they did is that you had to go into this room. Well, that's kind of a problem when there's a lot of people just in a mob trying to get in. So what happened is that I teamed up with these other girls and we just pushed our way through, and I know I'm kind of a rebel, but anyway, we pushed our way through and got into Caribbean 3. Great, we have our seat, we're ready, we're not that far away. Line pass. So basically a line pass is something that you can purchase when you buy your tickets, and there's only a limited supply of them, and the line pass gets you in front of the lines to meet people, which is great. You paid for it. That is a really cool thing. I have no problems with that. So we waited. All the line pass people went. There was probably at least 100, maybe 150 to 200 line pass people. Great. Okay. We waited, line pass is over. The line pass people were lined up against the walls because there were no chairs for them because they were in a separate line. So once the line pass people were done, some girl had the brilliant idea that the line must start where the line pass people were because that's where all the people were starting. So one girl ran to the wall. A whole mob of girls followed her to the wall of the Caribbean 3 room, and they all got out of their chairs. Well, me and my friends were a bit smarter than that and said, let's just move up in the chairs as far as we can. So we got up and we moved up to row 3 in the chairs. Unfortunately for all those girls that rushed over to the side of the wall, with the security guard telling them not to, they didn't get their seats back and they had to go to the back of the room. This caused major problems as some people were really frustrated because they had been waiting there for 4 hours. I felt bad for them, but at the same time, they disobeyed the security guards, so I can't do anything about that. So anyway, we were in row 3, so close to getting our autographs and pictures and everything. But there was only an hour left, and there were thousands of people waiting outside the room thinking that they could get in, and there were still hundreds of people inside the chairs. So I was the last person to get an individual photo because there was no time to do autographs by that point, and they had to start grouping people together. Aside from that, I got to go to some really cool panels. I got to meet Louis Cole, Ben Brown, and Steve Booker, which was awesome. Their panel, it wasn't really a panel, it was like a room meet and greet thing. It wasn't on the Playlist Live schedule. It was like in the back in this other room where you had to like read the sign to get there. It was phenomenal. It was probably my favorite thing ever. I got to ask a cool question and it was just really enjoyable compared to waiting in line just to have 5 seconds meeting your favorite YouTuber. So altogether, my Playlist Live experience was so much fun. It was so cool, but it needs to be better organized. I mean, they can't have 8,000 people and 100 YouTubers and 10 YouTubers that everyone wants to see, because it's just not practical. Like, it was just insane. Like, I mean, Tyler Oakley was at his signing for like 6 hours. Like, I think it started at, it was like 3 to 7, and he stayed until like 9 or 10. He waited until he got through every single person. Anyway, Playlist Live was swag. Never mind. Anyway, Excelsior.